Hello and welcome back to Tycoon Terminal. I'm Steve and we're just looking at our latest creation, which is this mine train coaster in our jungle area. I do like it. I think it just fits in really well. I quite like how there's so much going on as well with all the different vehicles moving around. You see we've got three trains in this view here. They are short trains, but I think it kind of adds to it. So yeah, I do like it. I think it's a fun little coaster. So today, what are you going to do today, Steve? We're going to finish off the park. We're going to build this area here. And yeah, it is going to be done today. So, um, yeah, well, I'm probably not going to finish off this Wild West area. That's probably going to overlap into the Planet Coaster 2 series, but I want to get this pirate area done with our last major attractions. So there are going to be some blueprints used on this one just to help speed things along a little bit. I'll be building a few coasters and whatnot. So sit back and relax, enjoy, and I'll catch up with you when we're done. And welcome back, and so we have it with pretty much. Well, I think this one's uh, done. I would have liked to have done more, but when I started this park, Planet Coaster 2 wasn't even announced, so I feel like it's time to move on to a new adventure. I think this park's like complete enough. We've got a fair few attractions. So what I've done, I've kind of finished off. We'll go over the pirate areas. That's the most recent one. So we've got uh, obviously a pirate ship, and I've put in this. Well, it's a barrel ride, but it's like the whip that used to be at Pleasure Beach. I think Kenny would still have one of these in operation. They're actually a really fun, relatively simple ride. I did enjoy going on the whip when it was at Pleasure Beach. We've just got a few like restaurants over here and on the left hand side, ATMs, animatronic show that I've kind of put here for people to watch. We've got a couple of shops in the middle of this building, and we have this Pirates of the Caribbean ride that I got off the workshop, which is perfect for what I wanted. I wanted a really big dark ride. I didn't have the time to start it. Essentially, it was I wouldn't have had time to finish this for today, so I did cheat a bit and got it off the Steam Workshop there. Fantastic, fantastic ride. It looks actually quite good because you kind of see like how it's. If you look at it from here, it looks perfect. And then when you go around the back, it's a warehouse, which is very much like how these rides done in real life. And added onto the side of it, I put in a Eurofighter coaster. I just thought it'd be interesting to have something a little bit different, relatively modern. So I chucked this in. I think it fits in well with the area. I think that my favourite bit is this cliff where we've kind of utilised. You come up here into the brake run event into this like surprise second modern vertical drop, which you don't see on many coasters. I don't think there is many coasters that have two more than vertical drops on them, so that's quite fun. I did dig out the ground a little bit here to put in that batwing element. Then we have a nice slow inversion at the end, as we didn't really have much speed left, so it kind of just very slowly, with a lot of hang time, goes into the brake run, which is incredibly zigzaggy, going back into the station. Not something I would normally build. Again, this restaurant area, it's actually closed, most of the stuff here. I found no one's really going down to these shops. There's nothing here. probably could get a little bit more footfall if I moved this Skyride station to go over here. It's something, if I ever jump back on the park, I'll probably consider doing to try and get a bit more footfall on these shops. They're closed because they just weren't doing anything at all. You've got the ship over here. There's not many people over here. There was more people before coming up here, but you've got the Chief Beef and a Gulpy there. I kind of wanted to put a bit of seating up here, but I was having a few issues with the path tool. Just would not let me do it, so I had to kind of cut that one a bit short. Again, I got that off the Steam Workshop on this one. This is a very Steam Workshop heavy. It's probably quicker for me to go what isn't on the Steam Workshop on this area of the park, and I've done this barrel ride and the 2 stations for these sky rides, and everything, the pathways in between I've done, and obviously this Eurofighter. So yeah, I think it's actually looking rather fantastic. It's nice and busy. We've got just over 10,000 people in the park now. It's one of the biggest parks I think I've ever built in Planet Coaster. One issue I have had, and this is quite... If you have a park that is losing a lot of money and you don't know why, it's this. Don't know why, but there's a lot of people trying to get on the train ride, which, you know what, everyone likes a train, but I think there's quite a lot of people in there, and what happened earlier is there must have been about 4,000 people, I think, about 4,000 people all waiting. It wasn't the train, they were all doing the same thing, but for the sky ride over here. I was like, oh, I can't work out why we're losing money. No one's going on any rides. Everyone's miserable. And then it turned out that it was because everyone was trying to get on the sky ride. So I did actually just delete the pathway. That fixed it. And then everyone started going on the rides again. I actually also noticed that the staff... I'll cover this now. This might be quite a helpful tip for you guys if you're playing Planet Coaster. There again, Planet Coaster 2 might work completely differently. The staff vendors, these guys. So if they have a shop assigned to them, so when you build a shop, you get a staff member assigned to it. They'll go wandering everywhere else throughout the park. They'll go. So if once the relief comes, if you're playing in like the proper like money mode, like I am, in challenge mode, they go wandering off to other areas. So what I had to do is basically, I think you probably could change them on the rotor, but I just sacked them. I was quite savage. I just got rid of them all and rehired, so that's why these ones aren't really well trained up. I need to actually train these guys. We'll probably make a bit more money if they've got a little bit of training behind them. So what I've kind of done is put the amount of vendors per shops for each zone, and then a couple of extras for like a relief, so they can go around and relieve each other. I'll sort that out later. I'm not going to go through all those. So yeah, so that's that area. And then we've got this castle, fort here, which this is going a lot faster than I want it to, because I was hoping that having a faster speed would get more people. I don't think it really works like that, as when you look at the stations, you still kind of move through at the same speed, so I don't think having a faster speed actually helps with capacity, because if you have the slower speed, you get more chairs. So I need to play around with that. I do quite like the cable cars though. I think it's something that a lot of parks are missing these days. They've either taken them out, but there's something quite fun about a cable car. I finished this area off over here as like quickly as possible. Again, just using a few blueprints of like mine and coal. Just something for people to look at when coming to the mine area on the train. Just gives a little bit of a different view. And then this station here for the cableway. I'll just let the save do its thing. I'm glad that lots of people are using the train now. Yeah, so we've got the western area, which is actually starting to revive itself. It's been very quiet over here for the longest amount of time, but the rides actually become classics, and they kind of get like you say, we've got people queuing for the log flume again. We've got a queue for the mine train coaster, and I actually reduced that to 2 trains because no one was going on it. And as you can see, I've got 3 trains back on it now, and a queue. So that's actually going to start making us a bit of money again. That's kind of running at a bit of a loss with no one going on it. And again, this ride here is attracting people back onto it. So I think if we actually, I'm not going to zoom around everywhere, but if we look at the top spin I've got at the in the jungle area, that one is very quiet at the moment, and that's reviving. So I'm hoping that that's going to start attracting people again. Obviously, we've got the main entrance here. I think I do have some staffing issues here. There's a lot of closed shops, so I'll have to review that. We've got the dragon area where we've got the train station here for people to go with a few games. I'm just kind of doing a bit of an overview here. The junior coaster seems to like revive and get lots of people and then go quiet and then revive and go quiet and revive and go quiet. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm leaving it on 2 trains for now, but I might need to potentially change that going forwards. This has really revived though. I don't know what you call these things. I've never actually been on one. I think they're made by Huss though, but I've not actually seen them in the wild. I haven't come across one. Look quite fun. But yeah, that's regained in popularity. That was the same situation. The SLC seems to have consistently been doing well. I think if we look at the finances, it's made us a fortune. Yeah, so it's made a lot of money. It's doing very, very well, the SLC. I'm surprised how well the SLC is actually doing. I think it is one of the most profitable attractions that we've put in. And it was also one of the first attractions that we put in. Heavily themed. So yeah, I like it. We've got this multi-launch coaster that I installed. It's got some pretty wacky and out there elements. Again, this is another one that it just seems to have consistently been very busy with people wanting to ride it. It always seems to have a full queue. Now the drop tower's got a bit busier again. That had the same thing. It kind of died off. But I do like how I've managed to kind of make it fit the area a bit more, because these drop towers are horrendously ugly to build. So I'm well chuffed with how that came out. I don't think I've missed anything. We've got the top spin here. There's actually a lot more people on the top spin than there was before, so I think that is... Let's have a look and see. I think that's probably in the reviving state now. No, it's still old. It's still old. But what happens is you've got this prestige, and then they get to like this point here, and then they'll start resurging, and then in like 4 years' time this will be a classic, and it'll be kind of become a little bit more popular again. So on this one, we built this corn forest. We got off, again, this was off a Steam Workshop, just because of the amount of... I was running out of time, essentially, to get the the build done. I think it's a nice little addition to the park. It's meant to be a very jungle cruise. You go into this temple here. Very fun. Whoever made that they've done a fantastic job of making this. It's a really, really good addition to the park. And as you can tell with the queue line there, people are willing to wait for it. Then I put in these 2 Mara spinners, spinning coasters, dueling. I did actually close this side on the left temporarily. It's the least popular of the two, just because we've just had no demand for the rides. There was no queue on the one on the right. It's a very small queue now. There's no one waiting for the one on the left again at the moment. So it's just when things kind of went wrong financially, I lost a lot of money very quickly when the people started jamming up on the train and the cable car. I didn't realise for a long time, so I looked at my bank balance and it had disappeared. I had to very quickly work out what's going on here. Why do I no longer have any money, essentially? Then we built this massive wooden roller coaster, which I kind of want to do a triple down, but I don't think I had quite enough space to complete it. This last dip down is not really what I'd want. I probably could smooth it out a little bit to be a little bit less severe, but this ride is all about the airtime. You see how fast it goes over the top of the hills. It is purely designed to be an airtime machine, and I wouldn't fancy climbing this ladder. It's a very long ladder to get to the brake run up there. And we've got the maintenance building there as well. Before I move on too far, let's not forget about these little rides that we're putting over here. So we've got the a Zamperla balloon ride. I think it's Zamperla who make these. I could be wrong. I'm sure it's a Zamperla ride. I love these, and everyone could go on them. It's a great attraction, and I think more parks kind of have them. They've been around a long time. I think these were like the first made in the 70s, 80s. I know Camelot used to have one, and Flamingo Land still have one, which always seems to be closed when I go, unfortunately. I do like it, so I always... It's kind of hidden away from the rest of the park as well. You have to go looking for it. It's kind of more towards the caravan site than the actual theme park. We've got a car ride here. Nothing too special with it, just a standard car ride. With we do have a animatronic here, so when the car approaches, the crocodile swims towards, and then the crocodile should disappear. Go on, there we go, and then it's going to jump up, and there we go, and then the car will continue on for the rest of the journey. In here, there's a few food outlets, cash machines. I'm surprised how busy this wooden coaster's become all of a sudden. It's not been that busy when I've been looking at it. That was loud. And then this is like the last kind of add-on really for the jungle area. We've got like this temple-themed train station. This ride hasn't been particularly popular. It's a Star Shape attraction. I actually lowered the price of it to £5 to try and get a few more riders on, and it's not really doing very well. It's actually costing me money. I'm gonna leave it, but if this was an actual ride, this probably would have been axed. I'm not sure why it's so unpopular. The pricing's like pretty good. I just don't get why it's just not done well, unfortunately. Then we've got this kind of... I don't have to name this one. It's like... I want to kind of go for like an Indiana Jones style like mine scene where you're in like a little mine cart going around. Because there's not many people going on it at the moment, it's kind of not at capacity. But it is a really fun little coaster, especially when all the cars are going around. There's a lot to look at. I may have to consider taking a few cars off this one. The cars actually rock on this. Magic Kingdom in Orlando have this kind of ride system. The trains are much longer though than what I've done, and the cars actually rock from side to side. It is quite fun. Seven Dwarfs Mine Ride, it's called, in Orlando. But I just kind of wanted something a little bit more funky. And if we look over here, I'm sure you've seen this in the last episode, when the train kind of gets close, this rock starts to fall down and just narrowly misses hitting the train. And then you've got the show building, and obviously we're back at the pirate area. So that's the park. I think it's come out pretty nice. Like, there's a few barren bits. Like, this could do with a little bit more decoration around here. I was going to add, obviously Planet Coaster 2 got announced, which is kind of forcing me to move on with move away from this park, unfortunately. But what my next step would have been would have put a fireworks show in of some kind, which would have been fantastic, and just decorate all these little tiny areas. Anything that wasn't doing well, I'd probably be thinking, right, we can replace it with something else. So this thing would have gotten, and we would be looking at like, oh, what can we put in that'll make us more money and like redevelop the park, if you will. And obviously we still have space for expansion slots. Now, one of the good things about Planet Coaster 2 that I believe, like, it'd be interesting to see how it's going to play once I've actually got it and installed it. They're using DX12, or DirectX 12, which I think a lot of people will be like, "What are you on about?" Well, basically, a lot of games are designed to it's like, I'll try to describe what it actually is. It's like a way the game kind of operates, and this was actually designed for DX11, which does not allow you to use, like, I think it allows some multi-core use, but not a lot. And I think Planet Coaster in general was a bit more overpowered for what you could do. So a lot of people can't get to 10,000 guests. Like, I've had to overclock my processor to the max on a few cores that it is using to kind of get this result. And you can see it's still it's a little bit jittery at times, even with a pretty good graphics card and this jittering, and the processor's been maxed out. So I'm hoping that having the DX12 setup should allow you to use more cores and more of your PC's resources. So I think it's going to run a lot better than how Planet Coaster runs. I think it's going to be a much smoother game. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's gonna go. So we'll go back to where we started. So that's it. That's the end of this series. If you've enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. And coming up will be Planet Coaster 2. Now, I am actually away for a few weeks, almost immediately after Planet Coaster 2 is released, so I don't think I'm going to get much Planet Coaster stuff going on immediately. I'm going to do a few little roller coaster builds to fill the space just as time goes on, and just keep the coaster POVs of this park going. So we've got a few more weeks of POVs coming from this park, so if you fancy having a ride on some of the rides, yeah, jump onto the POVs and have a go. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you when we start our next park. Thank you very much for watching.